let's talk about the origin of the wine stream, because it's actually I don't think I've ever told you about it. So the wine stream, this is probably the deepest topic I'm ever going to go into on stream ever, and I'm
Really?
doing it now because I'm slightly drunk. Is that
What
cool?
is it?
Is that cool? to
Yeah,
go
of
into a
course,
deep
of
topic?
course. No, of course.
So the wine stream was actually suggested to you while I was drunk already. I was already smashed out of my mind when I recommended it to you. And that is because, and this is probably a good disclaimer for streams where we drink a lot of alcohol, because
Yeah.
you shouldn't drink a lot of alcohol, chat, as much as this may imply.
It's not that
We
funny.
actually haven't had that much. We've had like 3 glasses, really, in total.
I haven't had lunch today, so it's hitting me faster than usual.
You need to eat.
Yeah.
But the reason I called you that day and was like, let's drink wine, was because December 2020, I was not handling my sudden growth well at all.
Really?
I couldn't do it. I didn't like it. And I turned to alcohol to help me get to sleep.
Really?
Yeah, because
Wow.
I didn't. I remember it was just before Joe, the lead guitarist of my band, stayed on my couch, and so he saw the brunt of it. But like like 2020, like the end of 2020, when I started to make my big growth, I'd hated.
Really?
I hated the amount of people suddenly with their eyes on me. I felt very like what's the word? Undeserving of like all the people. And I felt like, and also it was around the time there was a big trend in like 2020, 2021, where like if you said even something slightly wrong, it was like, right, clipped, it's on Twitter, everyone's like, and it will get like 20,000 likes of like, look how evil this person is, like it could be someone slips up and says something wrong, or just some people would genuinely do bad things and get fucked over for it, but other people were just slipping up on stream, and then suddenly they were having to make these big apology threads, and if I'm honest, that was scary, because
That was a lot of pressure.
I could every time I hit go live, I was like, what if what if I accidentally, because as a British person, I didn't even know what like Ave was, for instance, African American vernacular English. I didn't know what that was until, like a bit into 2021, when I started like actually researching that kind of stuff, and things that are happening in America. And I remember very intently at like after the Lamambo thing, I asked Phil a question about Native American stuff. And I must have said it in a bit of a douchebaggy way, to be fair, but it came across like I was echoing some like right-wing anti-Native American like whistle, like dog whistle that I didn't even know about. And I remember thinking to myself like, I'm scared. I'm really scared and it was a scary time. And that time I called you being like, we should do a wine stream, I was smashed, bro. I was really drunk because I was going to bed. It was like 2 a.m. in England. Yeah. And I was having a. Sorry to suddenly make this heavy.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you that it only lasted like 2 months before.
Don't even.
It was pretty much Joe who's told me like.
No.
Right, you can.
No. I feel like.
A lot of early love joy is written about it too.
I feel like at that time, I think it is difficult to deal with that. So many eyeballs on you, right?
Like
it is very difficult.
I went from going live to 2,000 people to going live to like 100,000 in like what felt like a blink.
It's
like,
fucking crazy.
I was talking about Anthony Padilla's podcast. I remember when I went live for the first time, the intro screen was up, and I had 85,000 viewers on the intro screen, and I was like, no, that's not how many people. I took a photo on my phone because I didn't believe it. I wanted to make sure that tomorrow I could look at the photo to make sure I wasn't dreaming, because I was like, I must be asleep right now, and tomorrow none of that will have been real. It was mental. And chat, let me say, 99% of that whole occasion was some of the most fun I've had on my time on the internet. Like genuinely, like I'm not joking. Like 99% of that entire like time on Dream SMP and stuff was the most fun I've ever had on the internet.
Well, that's awesome.
It was sick, but that 1% meant. And there wasn't a specific thing that I'd done, and there wasn't a specific thing that anyone was saying to me. It was the idea that there could be. And obviously everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be liked. And so my stupid remedy for trying to ignore that was drinking, and drinking like alcohol. And I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic. It only lasted like a month or two, but like that was that period.
I think during the pandemic, a lot of people turned to certain things to kind of distract themselves.
Yeah.
Because it was a very lonely time. And I remember that so well. It was an extremely lonely time.
Yeah.
I have a lot to thank to Tommy actually.
Yeah.
Because Tommy got me in the server, and I started meeting a bunch of new people, and it was a great time. But before that, it's pandemic. You're
You
not
were the
doing
perfect
shit.
addition, I think. It was 100%. You were what we needed. You. It was already like people like to talk about that period of like the election.
Yeah.
And the Mambos like that was the golden era of Dreamers Speak. But in reality, it was getting really dry.
Yeah.
And then you like mainly me and Tommy's humor had reached its limit.
Really?
The joke.
Really?
No, not as in like
What?
I meant it in the wrong way.
Okay.
The joke of I'm a grumpy guy who's just trying to do things correctly, and Tommy being the kooky kid. Yeah. I think audiences were getting bored of it. I still was enjoying it, but I feel like, and then you came in and you were like the perfect you were the perfect counterbalance because you were suddenly that it was almost from a narrative, like from a story perspective.
Yeah.
It was this overexcited kid who's just won independence with his nation, and he's so invested and he's ready to take on the next challenge.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's an equally ambitious, equally like energetic young person who comes in and wants to do the same thing. And suddenly Tommy's character is faced with this question of, well, do I need to change, or do we need to that guy up who's trying to be me? It was you brought in a really perfect like juxtaposition, I think.
And it was so great. I feel like it changed a lot of my scenario.
Yeah.
Because in a way, I was very much trying
Look how
to
red
figure. Yeah. I was trying to very much figure out, and I think and Tommy kind of gave me that entry. He's like, hey, just let's do. Yeah. And I love that. You know why I watched Tommy? I think that
is Tommy's mantra. Let's do.
Yeah, I my streams pre everything. My streams were very much let me go live for an hour, do a bunch of crazy shit, be very energetic and end.
Yeah.
No one was doing that on Twitch. Even to this day, everyone just kind of goes live for 6 to 8 hours, which there's a lot of creators nowadays, which I'm gonna mention one of them, like Kai Sanat, who's very energetic all throughout. I get drained very easily. And I had never, back in that day, I had never seen a creator who would be very energetic, push out content, and end. Tommy was one of those people, actually. Tommy was one of those people. And when Tommy, what he used to do was he would reply to everyone on Twitter. Right? Yeah. And you'd see it because he had a lot of followers, and you'd sit on your tab. So that's how I found out about Tommy, and I watched his streams. I'm like, he's very energetic, just like me, for a small amount of time, and then stream. He just offers content. That's it.
He's the reason there are currently 42,000 people watching.
Exactly.
Like before Tommy joined not as in like he made you. I'm saying he made Twitch. I think
he did a lot. Tommy did a lot for Twitch.
Twitch has more to thank Tommy than anyone in the world, and I feel like Twitch don't.
You know what's crazy?
And Twitch need to notice that because he's leaving. He's moving towards you. He did a YouTube stream recently, and I'm sat there thinking Twitch have got to pull their finger out their ass because this man made their platform.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I think Tommy did a lot for the Twitch community.
Of course,
he definitely did.
Of course he did.
Tommy helped to push a brand new community. Like, so here's the thing. There was a lot of like our community as a whole was very there. It was there because I had that community that Tommy introduced. I had that community before the server, right? And what happened was Tommy really like blew it up. To the point where so many more people got introduced to Twitch.
That's the big thing, though. I feel like your community would have grown without Tommy and without Twitch. Because of the pandemic and what you were doing, you would have still grown, and then and so would most of the people in Dream would have still grown if they had that ambition and the energy that they did, that they displayed during the pandemic. The difference is that Tommy's whole thing was to upload every 3 days on YouTube, and the very first thing people would see, is go watch this live on twitch.tv/TommyInnit. Now, this was to help him have 2 avenues. I understand that. So, you got to diversify your portfolio or whatever. But for Twitch, this was a bunch of YouTube kids who've just been told they don't have to go into school anymore and they've got to sit at home all day, who are just like, oh, well, I know what YouTube is, I'll go on YouTube, who are now saying, oh, what's this Twitch thing?
What's this Twitch thing? Yeah.
Like, I always think of Drake and Ninja's stream, right? Yeah. Drake and Ninja's stream had 60,000, if I remember correctly, 60,000 viewers when it happened in 2018, 2019. I think I could be completely wrong. It wasn't, basically.
It was 200, it was
what I'm trying
200, 300.
thousand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
200, 300,000. Either
Which,
way.
and that point was unheard of.
That was like
Unheard
ridiculous,
of.
right?
Yeah.
Tommy in it averaged that on Twitch, you know? I averaged 120k. Tommy peaked at 600,000, you know? It's like one of those things where Twitch can't just turn their eye and be like, oh, it was just, you know, it was luck. No, it was Tommy. Tommy brought people to Twitch.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I've said this to Twitch staff. I've had conversation with Twitch staff about this exact thing, and their general reaction is oh yeah.
I think bottom line, I think there's so much still to do. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
I personally want to be involved in the trajectory, streaming as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff I'm gonna do, and I plan to do, and it's gonna be great. I'm really excited.
I think you're gonna smash it. You're gonna do it. There's the thing is, I feel like Twitch. I feel like a lot of creators, myself included, have sort of ticked the box. Like Twitch done. You know,
that's fair.
And it feels like I feel like I've done it as well subconsciously to a certain extent, but I feel like you haven't, and I feel like you're completely correct because there's so much that hasn't been done yet with Twitch, that and it's so unique. Like oh what, you're gonna go to Facebook Live? No, of course not. Like Twitch is the live streaming platform, and there's so much that hasn't been done live streaming.
I'll tell you
and
what
I
right
think
now,
to this day
I
about
think
German Soul House.
There's a very transitionary period, right? There's a lot that needs to happen. Whichever platform it may be, there's a lot that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not one to boast, but there's a lot of I want to do. There's still a lot of I want to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of going to happen, and it's going to happen. I know it is. And you know what? I told you backstage of Lovejoy, I told you I have a lot of respect for what you do, because whether you're like, oh, I'm not into Twitch anymore. I don't like.
I still do.
Well, you do
streams.
You do streams, but you have your priorities in different places.
Yeah.
You as a whole, you being past Twitch streamer, but now delving into such different community.
Yeah.
You have no idea, but you're introducing a brand new community to the space as well, and the space as general.
Yeah.
So there's so much we still need to do. There's so much that needs to be done, and we're doing it in a different manner.
Let's keep going.
Please.
Let's keep going.
and that still stands. You are doing such crazy shit. I respect you a lot for it, and I know for a fact 2023 is gonna be a crazy ass year.